Hello everyone, this is Gail Polubiak, CEO and founder of Interview Academy, and I'm here to present the replay of our webinar that we had last week called How to Beat Resume Software Systems Without the Use of Resumes or Keywords. And I am actually re-recording this because, as many of you know, the circumstances last week were less than ideal. My computer crashed at the last minute. I had to use a library system. It was out in the open. I had to whisper. I had people coming up to me. The sound quality was very disturbing. I think a lot of people had some static on the line. So I owe it to you to present this webinar in a replay, but not in the condition it was originally. So let's get to it. As I mentioned to the others that this really should be titled Job Search for Executives. This economy is not the time to play passive. You really have to step up your game. Even if you're not an executive, you really have to play a far more sophisticated job search strategy. And so what I want to go over today is how to reach the hiring decision makers regardless of your resume's keywords. Some people have many years of experience, and some people may be suffering from either too much unemployment, too long of a gap. They may have so many years, they're facing some ageism issues. And the idea is, let's get rid of some of the things that put you at risk at the very beginning. So that's why I want to reach the decision makers without your resume. And I want to increase your chances of having that direct personal conversation. Because I think, as soon as you get your foot in the door, you're far better at selling yourself than a piece of paper is. And ultimately, I want to blow your job search wide open to give you the greatest opportunity to get hired. The problem is bigger than a lot of people think. Sure, it keeps you away from the current openings. But if you can't have a conversation with a manager, you don't even have the opportunity for them to create a position more suited for you. And if you think big enough that if you talk to a hiring manager and you've got that more one-on-one personal communication going and they see you, it may trip their thoughts to refer you to another company, maybe a company that just came from, maybe another division, maybe they're going to be leaving in 2 weeks and they want to take you with them. So you have no idea of how broad your opportunities are once you have that personal one-on-one conversation. And without it, you're locked out, you're powerless. You put an over-reliance on networking. And I think a lot of people have given up on the job boards. They've given up on online searches, and they're doing nothing but networking. Certainly networking is a huge part and a very vital part of job search, but it's not necessarily the only part. When we rely on others to do what we need done, it kind of dilutes the impact. And then lastly, of course, all of it boils down to just mere frustration, anxiety, financial worries, and downsizing of dreams. So the solution is, I want to help you understand the problem, and I want to help you understand the problem with the problem so you can get kind of a strategic advantage. And I don't want to just give you tactics. You can go to the internet and get tactics out the wazoo, but you need a strategy. And I want to give you a solution that's based on making it harder to keep you out than it is to let you in. And here's the thing. There are a lot of myths out there. Some people think, well, if I keep my networks energized and mobilized, I'm going to hear about new job openings as they emerge. Seriously, that does not always happen. Everybody is working in so many different ways that they're consumed with their business, with what they have on their plate. Even the best of intentioned people, they don't know every job that's happening in their company. They may not get wind of something until a company is way down the path and you don't stand a chance. So networking, though a vital component of the job search, it's still one letter away from not working. And another myth is companies don't like it when you break the rules. They'll exclude me. Oh my gosh, this is not the time to be shy. I don't want you to be this belligerent ogre. I want this to be a professional approach that gives the companies what they're looking for. Nobody will exclude you for helping a company solve their needs. And another myth is everyone knows me already. If you've been in the industry for a number of years and you think everybody knows your reputation as well as you do, that may be, you may be very well publicized and such, but again, you're asking other people to do more work for you. And that might work out, but I'm trying to give you a position of control and power. So if we think of today's leaders, back in the recession, companies cut away the fat. They cut into the muscle, and sadly, they had to cut into the bone. And now they're asking managers and leaders to do more work than probably 2.5 people. So what happened was the companies offloaded that first line of resume screening into HR. Now, here is what HR feels like day one on an online job posting. They're drowning in a sea of resumes, and they have to cut down thousands of resumes into the top 10, and they have to do this in record time. And, of course, that's when we entered the world of the resume screening software, the Taleos of the world, the applicant tracking systems. ATS is another phrase. And they have the ability to screen down based on keywords, and they've gotten smart. You cannot just load your resume with keywords anymore. Now they've changed the algorithms to a point where they're looking for a certain relative quantity of keywords. What that means, you know what? I don't know jack what it means. All I know is you can't just load your resume with keywords. The systems are figuring all that stuff out. So why try and fight a system that's going to keep us out anyway? Let's get on a level playing field. This is where we have to break some rules. Again, not in a belligerent ogre sort of way, not in a jerk face sort of way, but we need to make it harder to keep you out than it is to let you in. Based on Michael Boylan's book, The Power to Get In, the premise is based on the age-old desire to CYA. Sending an email to one person is likely to get deleted, but sending an email and notifying that person that you're sending it to 2 other people, one being the individual's boss and someone lateral to that person, you're going to stand a much better chance of getting a call because they want a CYA, right? For instance, if you're in sales and you're looking for a division sales manager position, your direct report would be the VP of sales. That person's boss might be the VP of sales and marketing. Lateral to the VP of sales would be VP of marketing. Here's an example. You've got the subject line, appropriate person. Now, I will tell you, we have tried so many different iterations of subjects that this appropriate person seems to be the highest converting. Do with this what you want, but this has been tried and proven to be probably the best converting subject so that people open your email. And you write to John, the head of sales. John, I'm writing to George Collins, that could be the head of marketing, Melissa Thomas, the head of sales and marketing, and you to find the most appropriate person to speak with regarding sales. Sales is very vague. To that end, what is a good time to speak? Call to action. Next paragraph, very crucial. This is what's going to replace your resume. This is to just bait them enough to get them to call. And it follows a very specific template, and I'll explain in a minute. But in this regard, I help enterprise software companies by deepening their revenue relationships with their current customers so they can expand their market share and increase their margins. In fact, I've helped Acme increase their market share 5% over goal last year. Prior to that, I helped Dynamic Inc. by taking a bottom-ranked territory and increasing sales by over 22% in just 1 year. Again, what would be a good time to speak? Call to action. I look forward to hearing from you. So let me show you the different parts here. As I mentioned, the subject, appropriate person, tried and true. The opening paragraph, you're going to specifically name 2 or 3 other people. Let me explain how the mentality works. You're on the road, you get this email, you want to delete it, but you think, dang, what if the head of sales and marketing asked me about this? What if somebody else wants to know more about it? At least I better have an answer. I cannot just delete it. The second aspect of the opening paragraph is to include a vague, more global subject, and then it's the call to action. The second paragraph is that template I was going to share with you. It's I help X by doing Y so they can do Z. This is huge. This is a very important part because this is to help them understand how you contribute to companies. It is not what you do. It's not your successes per se. It's how you contribute to companies. And then you add some supportive results. And lastly is another call to action. So again, you've got to get back into this I help X by doing Y so they can do Z. I understand that some people say, oh, that might work for sales because you've got a lot of numbers that you can play with. This works for anybody. I don't care if you're a waitress and you say, I help restaurants who need strong customer service reviews in Yelp by going the extra miles with my customers so that the restaurant gets higher ratings in Yelp and more stars or whatever. If you are a developer, I help companies who need new creative ideas to stay ahead of competitors by developing, and you go into that so that they can increase their market share and market penetration and improve their margins. See, every job you are contributing to something. This isn't star, where it was a situation that you were given. I want you to think a little ahead of it. I want you to think about your boss before you got hired. What was their challenge? How did you contribute to the greater good of the company? So this is what's going to elevate you over and above the rest of the competition. Here are some examples. Again, in sales, I help X sales teams who struggle with shrinking market share by Y, deepening relationships in current accounts, so Z, management can reach their goals. Do you see, I'm being very specific. I just not saying I help companies or I'm a salesman. And I'm a really good salesman. Nowadays, accomplishments aren't going to yield near the results that showing your contribution is going to. Here's one for a CFO. I help X startups by implementing systems and financial processes as they're growing so they have greater capacity to expand. Think about this one. If you are the CFO, your CEO wants to take advantage of all these different market opportunities. That's why they brought you in, was to come in with some strong financial processes and implement systems where they may not have had any systems before. And that gives the CEO a greater capacity to expand. Now when you're talking to a CEO, they're like, oh my God, you get me. This is what I need. And then for leadership, I'm most successful when I can help X teams that struggle to work together. So if you're talking to anybody who has communications issues or silos or what have you, this is going to resonate by building stronger communication systems so Z, they complete their projects more efficiently. Every job, I really don't think there is a position out there. I don't care if it is trash hauling or just accounting or bean counters or teachers. Every single position has a problem to solve, and you are a contributor in solving that problem. Everybody has a value proposition. So then what do? After you've sent your email 1 to 2 days later, you're going to rinse and repeat. You're going to go into your sent folder, grab the previous email, and do a reply all. This will grab the body of your original email because you want that in the body of your email. But then you're going to write a follow-up, but you'll tweak your email slightly. Same, you've got your subject, John, and you also state that you're sending it to the other two people, find the most appropriate person, find a good time to talk, and then in the body of that second paragraph, as I mentioned, I help enterprise software companies who want to increase their market share by diving deeper into their existing clients' relationships to increase revenues so they can improve customer loyalty and improve their margins. Here are 2 examples. Now, I like this because this one uses bullet points. You want numbers. As much as you can in your supporting results, you'd like to try and use numbers as much as possible. I'm also using competitors as well by naming them by name, to say, okay, this guy has not only contributed in the industry, but I know who he has contributed to. And you might acknowledge time is undoubtedly tight, so what would be a good time to speak? Don't apologize. You still want to get that call to action out there. 2 days later, rinse and repeat. Again, you want to reply all, same way. Now you've got both of the bodies in there. Add on the subject line, final attempt. John, I'm sure you must be busy, so this will be my last attempt to reach out to George, Collins, Melissa, Thomas, and you to find the most appropriate person to speak with regarding sales. Now, this is crucial to make sure it's the final attempt. With the busyness of people, even if they have an opening, things get pushed off. It might be a top priority but not completely, and they're getting great candidates as well, and they don't feel that urgency. But it's funny how often on this final attempt email, people go, oh, okay, I need to get to them. And you say, I want to reach out because I help enterprise software. You give another little blip on that, and then please rest assured that if I don't hear from you by Friday, now you're giving a drop-dead date, that I will assume you have no interest and I will no longer contact you. However, if you are interested in talking, then what's a good time and number to call? So you're giving somebody a deadline. I cannot tell you how often I get a response on the third email. And it can't get pushed to the back burner enough. They know you're going to go away. They don't want to lose you. So they'll go, okay, hey, I'm sorry. Things are busy. And, let's talk. As Forbes said just the other day, you've got to shift your frame from I'm a job seeker to I'm a professional in field X, and I'm always up to talk about business pain and its solutions. You need to change from that job seeker with a very myopic view of the job search world and turn yourself into this professional, and you help solve problems. That's what's going to initiate these conversations. All you want is somebody to pick up the phone and call you and say, hey, I got your email. Tell me about yourself. And that's what's going to get the conversation going. And you'll get a few different responses. Maybe you'll get somebody who says, and they may not even call you, they might email you back and said, hey, we don't have any openings, but thanks. You can shoot an email back and say, oh, I appreciate that. I wasn't really thinking that you had an opening. I really wanted to do some due diligence. Do you know of anybody else I could talk to? And you don't know. Like I said earlier, people come from different companies. They may have started a week ago. They have other people, friends in the industry that they just played golf with and said, oh, I wish we had some better financial systems. Great. You might want to talk to this person. So it's just that personal conversation that is so critical, and just sort of drop the anxiety a little bit from the job seeker perspective and truly treat this as a collaborative professional relationship. Another answer you'll get is, often I'll hear people say, well, I just hired somebody. Do you know how much money this is in your bank? Because if somebody just got hired, now what you want to do is you want to call back into the company a little bit later, maybe a week or two, however long, find out who that new person is. Call the person and congratulate them. Don't email. Pick up the phone, and you actually have a human conversation and congratulate the person on the new position. Say, I was maybe a day late, $1 short. This is an opportunity that I was looking at as well. So I want to congratulate you. Ask them where they came from. Maybe their job is still open. And if it's still open, you'll find a little bit more about that opportunity, who to talk to. They may even be able to coach you into the job, or their antenna is up just as high as yours. They may have some white-hot leads, positions that weren't maybe for them, but might be a fit for you. So you never know where these conversations will land you. And are you going to get barked at for sending 3 emails? Maybe. Who cares? They're not going to remember you. Trust me, this is never going to blemish your situation. And if it does blemish it, that's probably not a company you ever wanted to work for. Again, Shift your frame of reference from job seeking to professionalism, and I think the benefits will surprise you. So to wrap up, you really can't afford to be passive in today's job market. You got to work with a system that makes it harder to keep you out than it is to let you in. And now you have a weapon to win this war for talent. So you're being victimized by the black hole. We got to find a way out. And today's job search requires this new thinking. It may look like you're breaking the rules, but you've got to get around the rules. And this email triple threat with sending an email to 3 different people and letting them all know that you're sending them to each other and sending it 3 times is going to be a quantum piece of artillery in your arsenal. And it's going to help you communicate directly with the hiring decision managers so that you get access to current jobs, referred jobs, and created jobs. So once again, I want to apologize for some of the technical problems that we had on that first webinar, and hopefully that this is going to help you. If you have any further questions, please email me directly to gail@interviewacademy.org, and I'll be happy to directly give you a response. Oh, and I almost forgot. Please take the time to like us at Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. And if you'd like to be made aware of our upcoming webinars and the Headhunter Secrets that we put out, please add your name and your email address in the box below, and we'll make sure we get you on our list. Again, thank you so much for your time, and I wish you the best of success in your job search.